Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. And before we get to the new ban list, and by new ban list, I mean the new Time Wizard ban list, we're finally going to enter the month of May 2002. We're going to get to the first ban list. It's going to be the ban list for the Yugi Kaiba format. And again, I think it gets like maybe two sets. There's like a tournament pack that gets released during this time period, and Metal Raiders. You're going to see a lot of decks evolve up real quick. But before we get there, I wanted to have a little bit of fun. I wanted to show you guys a deck that I never saw back then. But I totally would have played this if I'd had the money to do it. And I want to call it Time Wizards, or like the Preban Dragon Caller. Sorry about that. And the reason being is, like, it feels a lot like Dragon Caller did for Speed Duel. I'm going to be playing this in as much of a glass cannon format as possible. This deck is not meant to do super well. It's just like a concept that could have happened. It would have been funny to see back then. So you would have had all of the pieces for like a basic beatdown. So you would have had your Logins, your Neos, and your Battle Oxes. You would have played your 3 Skulls. You would not play Judge Man. Okay? This is home. Because we don't want to lose. We want to win by doing something goofy, but we don't want to lose. So, going into monsters that now matter for this portion, for the Dragon Caller portion, we're going to use 3 Lords of Dragon. Now again, this is part of the Kaiba starter deck at this point in time. So we got this, again, the end of March, and you guys have had all of April to play around with it. What his effect is face-up dragon monsters cannot be targeted by spells, traps, or card effects. Dude is awesome, right? Like, he takes targeting and says, like, no. So, I love it. And then you got to play some big dragons. So if you're like me, you have these starter deck Kaiba 001s, and of course mine are a little rough, but like whatever. I've had these things since 2002. Love them. They've been my Blue Eyes playset forever. And the best part is, like, these were guaranteed to you. Like, as long as you paid the $10 a starter deck, you were guaranteed your Blue Eyes White Dragon cards. What you were not guaranteed, in fact, I think this is the only reprint of it, is the Tri-Horned Dragon. Every Tri-Horned Dragon I've seen has basically been the secret rare 000 from one of the Legend of Blue Eyes sets. And I say it like that because we have the original set. Then we have the reprint when they decided to change things to spell card. So rather than just reprinting all the cards from then forward, they decided they were going to reprint all of the original, like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 booster packs or whatever it is, and change the cards. So that gave you more copies of everything else in the original sets. And then they had to go ahead with the international versions where they had to add the EN to it. So then you got to reprint those sets again. And then they decided they were going to do the 25th anniversary, or the 2022 or 2020 re-releases of the original sets again. So like Tri-Horned Dragon has had reprints, but it's basically only because they keep reprinting the Legend of Blue Eyes. These are from Legendary Collection Yugi's World. These are fine. This is like the second toughest monster in the game at the time. It is a dragon. It is a secret rare at the time period. And like I said, it was from Legend of Blue Eyes. Like, the crazy thing was, like, you'd much rather play Blue Eyes at that point in time because Blue Eyes was just better. Going into your spells, though, this is where things get a little turbed. You are going to be playing 3-card distros. Basically, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to summon the Lord of Dragon first. And if we're lucky enough to start with his flute, we're going to go ahead and set it. And then everything else is, can we pick through enough cards till we've got 2 dragons? That's the game. We're also going to carry copies of Change of Heart. And the reason we're going to carry the copies of Change of Heart is, you know, maybe we didn't draw into any of those things, but we drew into the Summoned Skull and we can get aggressive anyway. So we're going to do that. Double D spell, because we don't want to be blocked up by Swords of Revealing Light. And honestly, since this is like turboed, we don't really have back row mitigation at all. So like, we could fall into things like Trap Hole. It's just not going to be pretty if it happens. 3 Monster Reborns, because, you know, sometimes you're going to hit the card distro, you're going to lose a Tri-Horn, you're going to lose a Blue Eyes. just play it back. Just play it back. 3 Geki. Because again, we kind of want to make sure that our guys can get through. We want to do a massive amount of damage for game as quick as possible. And again, if you can get the Flute of Summoning off with like 2 blue eyes, that's probably peak. That's still only going to be like 7,200 points when you count in the Lord of Dragons. Your opponent's going to be at 800. So like it's just a matter of like, can I activate Ukazi or can I get through the line one more time and hit? And that's really all you're looking for. 3 Pots of Greed, because again, you got to have the draw 2 while it's available to you. And then last but not least, the Flute of Summoning. And how does that one work? Well, you special summon up to 2 dragons from the hand. There must be a face-up Lord of Dragons on the field to activate and resolve this card. So again, it's very, very, very glass cannon. This is not something that you would see, but it is kind of cool to see like the cards laid out like this and go like, yeah, you could play like a base beatdown with like no defense if you wanted to also try to play a bunch of dragons and just womp the field. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is my last pre-ban format deck list. When we come back, we will discuss the actual first restrictions list, and we'll have Celestial back for that because she's actually quite enjoying all of this. She's also she's building a collection. She started from scratch, so she's excited to move on to some new cards and get some new stuff. So till then, see you guys next time. Have a great day. Do the screenshot thing if you want this deck list. Otherwise, just go and enjoy the rest of your day, all right? Later.